I just came across an article of a lady making $84,000 a year by going all in on a simple side hustle app that I had never heard of before. She actually started making more than her full-time job just doing this side hustle app on the side. The more I looked into this, the more I found a whole bunch of other people making some great money going all in on side hustle apps. Some of these apps I had never heard of before. Other ones are popular apps that you've definitely heard of that people took a little bit of a different approach towards. The last guy actually did a simple arbitrage of one of the most popular apps out there, and he makes $700,000 a year in profit by doing this. So in this video, I'm going to cover 7 people using 7 different side hustle apps to make some great money.
Now keep in mind, just because you sign up for one of these apps doesn't mean you're going to make as much money as the examples in this video.
But I hope this can spark some ideas for you. Without any further ado, let's jump into these 7 people making some great money with these simple side hustle apps. So first, the lady making $84,000 a year is Melissa Avery. She went all in on the side hustle app Baby Quip. So what this app is, it allows you to rent out baby gear, car seats, strollers, pack and plays. You can list those items on babyquip.com and rent them out for a set fee every day. Melissa went on vacation, she brought her kids and used the app to rent some baby gear from somebody else. When she saw how convenient it was and how much the person was making just for renting out those items they already owned, she went home and started renting out some of her own items. So once she saw the demand for how much it was rented out, she kept buying more and more and more items and renting all of them out. Strollers, pack and plays, car seats, many of them people will rent out for $10, $20, $30 a day. Melissa and her husband started doing this on the side. Now they made $85,000 in the last year just renting these items out. That's more than Melissa's full-time job. She says if you're gonna do this, she recommends finding lightly used items for a discounted price. So you can look on things like Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, and buy lightly used items that you can rent out rather than buying new. Also, you wanna be in a popular city or a vacation spot with high demand. So you wanna have a lot of people traveling there who will need to rent those out. The middle of nowhere, you might get a little bit of demand, but you're not gonna get enough to really make a full-time income. Melissa does say if you start accumulating a lot of items to rent out, you're gonna have to have a place to store them. So they built a shed at their house where they store all these items. Otherwise you can get like a storage unit. Now, side hustle app number 2 is one that a lot of people are making anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 just doing a couple jobs on the weekends, all the way up to $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for the people who take it more seriously and really want to go all in with this app. And this app is Sharetown.
Sharetown.
The bulk of this is coming through Sharetown.
There's been times I've made like maybe $800 in a day.
$3,000 to $4,000 a month.
But this app still has a lot of opportunity, growing demand, and it doesn't have enough service providers to keep up with all the demand. So they are looking for more drivers. I've talked about Sharetown a few times before, and I've actually had a lot of people reach out telling me they signed up and have made money with this. So I do know this is a legitimate good way to make some extra money on the side. The company is also offering some incentives if you sign up. So I put a link down below. You can use my sign up link and they'll give you an incentive. I think it's like $50 for your first job. Once you do about 10 jobs, they'll give you a couple $100. But what Sharetown does is they facilitate returns for online furniture companies. So if someone, say, buys a mattress online, they get it shipped to their house, they open it up, take it out of the box, and they don't like it. They want to return it. Mattresses come compressed. That mattress is now too big to fit back in the box and be returned. So what Sharetown does is they facilitate that return process. They send a rep, which possibly could be you, to come to your house and pick up that basically brand new item that's being returned. That rep then takes that item, so to say that mattress, back to their house, and Sharetown gives them all the images and things they need to list that item on places like OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, and when they sell, that person gets a large portion of that sale. So if it's a $2,000 mattress, many times you can go pick up that lightly used mattress and sell it on places like Facebook Marketplace for $500, $600, and you keep a large portion of that sale. So there's people talking about Sharetown online. One guy said he made $800 in a single day. People are saying they're making $3,000 to $4,000 in a month. Now, if you're in a more popular city, a higher demand city, there's definitely going to be more jobs coming your way. But people all over are buying items and returning them. And Sharetown is partnered with some of the most popular online brands out there. So you're getting some high quality, good products that you can then turn around and sell. A lot of the things that you're seeing on Facebook Marketplace, a lot of the brand new items that are for sale, some of them are people who are working for Sharetown, reselling those items. There's only a few requirements for this. They require that you have a truck or an SUV that can carry these large items, a driver's license. You'll do a quick form online that you can sign up, and you will need a helper generally to go with you to pick up these items. So whether it's your spouse or a friend, each one of these jobs, you do want to have someone come with you to help you take the items out of the house. And you also are going to want to have a place to store the items while you're waiting to sell it. But the cool thing is, as I said, you can do this on your own time. So you get to schedule with the customers when you go pick it up. So if you have a job, you can do this on the side. Weekends, evenings, people have made over $1,000 on a single sale of an item, depending on what it is. This is a lesser known app with still a lot of opportunity for reps to get in and start making some money here.
Now, before we get into number 3, I put together a list of hundreds of unique ways people are making money, just like the ones in this video, plus hundreds of other side hustles, low competition business ideas I've found. I call it my idea book. I'll link it down below in the description. Let's get back into it.
Now, number 3, a lady and her husband went all in on this popular app that you've probably heard of. They got to the point of making $200,000 a year between the two of them just doing this app full time. So this app is Rover. This is the dog walking, dog sitting app that you've probably heard of. And what you do is watch people's pets while they're out of town. You can walk their pets on a regular basis. I found a video of a lady on YouTube who started doing this by herself. She got to the point where she was making so much money that she told her husband to quit his job and do it full time with her. So they went all in on Rover together. She breaks down what she made every single month. They made $200,000 in the last year after she went through all of her numbers. In November, December, and January, a lot of people are traveling for the holidays and there's premium prices during those months. In the month of December alone, just between the two of them, they were able to make over $30,000 just from watching dogs and walking people's dogs. So the majority of it during that month was house sitting. So they'd do drop-ins on people's houses and take care of their pets. They'd also have people's pets come and stay at their houses. But they said it was a lot of work making that $30,000+ in a month. She said, I don't know if they could ever do it again, but the fact that they were able to do that just shows the potential there is if you want to go all in on an app like Rover. Now, number 4 is an article I read on Reddit. They were able to make $4,000 per month renting out their driveway and other people's driveways through the app Neighbor. So what Neighbor does is lets you rent out your driveway or parking spot to people who need that. So this couple lived near an airport. They decided that they would start renting out their driveway on Neighbor. They made some great money from renting that out and decided that they could scale the business by reaching out to other people and they would pay them a percentage of the rental that they were able to get. So they listed all these other people's driveways and were able to build up a solid base of a bunch of driveways that they were renting out, and they got to the point where they were making $4,000 a month just renting out driveways on Neighbor. Now, Neighbor lets you rent out storage spaces as well, so you could see where storage spaces, parking spot, if you can, even just a blank piece of land, if you have a lot of parking spots and it's in a high traffic area, a place where people would like to park, then you can rent out those spots. Maybe it's, you have a large parking lot where people park their RVs or whatever it is. Now, side hustle app number 5 is one that you maybe wouldn't think of, and this is one that I personally have paid people out from, and this is Indeed.com. I always thought Indeed was just for, finding a job, but you can actually find contract work on Indeed that you can do on the side. So I post a lot of jobs for my junk removal company to find drivers in specific areas to pick up junk for me, subcontractors in specific areas to pick up junk for me. They can sign up and I'll send them extra junk removal jobs that do on the side. Now, there's a whole bunch of other companies out there offering contract work on Indeed. I actually had a guy, at the time, he was homeless, but he had a pickup truck and was looking to get into junk removal. And he reached out, I sent him a couple junk removal jobs. Today, he makes over 6 figures a year just from finding my job on Indeed. So there are a lot of great opportunities on Indeed for contract work they do on the side. You just have to scour through there and find something that looks appealing. And there is definitely opportunity if you can find and stumble upon the right thing. Number 6 is a hustle that I got sucked in deep on. I watched probably an hour plus of videos of people doing this hustle, and I was just amazed at the dedication and work ethic of a lot of these people who are doing this hustle. What it is, there's a lot of people on the internet, on Instagram, on TikTok, that are posting videos of themselves out there living in their cars and driving for food delivery apps. So they sign up for every food delivery app. So they'll sign up for DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, and they're living in their cars delivering food for all of these apps. And there's multiple people who are making $1,000+ per week just driving around in their car doing this. One guy's saving up to buy a house somewhere, and he's saved up close to 6 figures just from living in his car and driving on all these food delivery apps. They'll be the first to tell you that these apps don't pay amazingly well. Willing to go all in on something just goes to show you that you can definitely make some money doing it. And lastly, number 7 is a guy profiting $700,000 a year doing a simple arbitrage arbitrage of one of the most popular apps, and that is Airbnb. It's an Airbnb arbitrage that's actually a really simple concept. So Richie Matthews owns istayusa.com. He makes $700,000 a year renting out places on Airbnb that he doesn't own. So for example, say he rents a 2-bedroom apartment and he rents it for $2,500 a month from the owner. He turns around and lists that on Airbnb for $250 a night. If that's booked on average 20 nights per week, so 66% of the time, which is pretty average on Airbnb for a popular area, that's $5,000 in revenue. He's paying $2,500 a month after expenses, including rent. He's maybe profiting on average $1,500 a month per unit. He has 60 units that he's doing this with. So how he got started, he found a vacant apartment in San Diego, convinced the landlord to let him lease it as a corporate rental. He invested in like $4,300 in IKEA furniture to furnish the space, listed the unit on Airbnb, and made back his entire investment in 6 weeks. He repeated the process, adding 3 more units in the same building. Then he decided to go all in on this short-term rental arbitrage. Over the next 6 months, he scaled to 9 units across different cities, and he would negotiate the leases with the landlords. He focused on 2-bedroom apartments because those are the highest in demand. He would use things like AirDNA and MashVisor to analyze local rent demand and get places in areas where the demand was high, and he knew he could rent it out a large portion of the time. He would target cities with strong business travel, high midterm rental demand, so traveling nurses, military, relocating professionals, and year-round tourism, so steady demand, not just seasonal. His biggest source of customers was just Airbnb and VRBO. He also took direct bookings on his own websites, and he would list it on places like furnishedfinder.com and hellolanding.com for people who were looking for, pre-furnished places to stay and rent long term. And things that let him scale, he hired a local operations manager to oversee the units. He also hired virtual assistants from the Philippines to handle guest communication. He trained in-house cleaners instead of outsourcing it to expensive, vacation rental companies. He had his own in-house cleaners. So the biggest challenge in this, is probably as you guessed, is getting the landlord to approve you subleasing their house out or their unit out. So Richie had to negotiate corporate leases and prove that he was a responsible operator. Another challenge, some cities are cracking down on laws on short-term rentals. Richie diversified by adding long-term rental platforms in those areas and securing corporate housing contracts to stay ahead. And Airbnb isn't the only place this is being done. A guy did this with FiresideRVRental.com, rents out other people's RVs, and he makes a full-time living just renting out other people's RVs that he doesn't own. So this arbitrage model works in a lot of these different apps, but I was just very amazed by the guy who was making so much money renting out Airbnbs that he didn't own. Then I kind of went deep into that arbitrage model. If you like stuff like this, if you like unique ways people are making money, niche businesses,
I put together a list of hundreds of unique ways people are making money, just like the ones in this video, plus hundreds of other side hustles, low competition business ideas I've found. I call it my idea book. I'll link it down below in the description. Now keep in mind, just because you sign up for one of these apps doesn't mean you're going to make as much money as the examples in this video.
they in no way guarantee success or any sort of income. Always do your own research before you start a business. Really appreciate you guys watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one.